Good morning, everyone. Welcome to... Oh, I guess I missed that last comment from Yanuka yesterday. Welcome to the Associated Guest. As always, I'm your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, Mumdani lies, and the whole world is not surprised. I guess popular TikToker. Apparently, she's got 30 million followers on TikTok, and the world said together, "Who gives a shit?" But apparently, she freaks out in a steakhouse because she was a bitch, and the waiter slipped, I guess. And then we'll get into Trump in China. We'll get a little bit into the cope of insane, slightly obese Caucasian females. And then we'll get into it with Dan Goyzerian versus Mr. Schlomo Fuentes himself. Let's get into it.
The idea that a socialist could balance a budget is silly.
People are buying it, though.
Yeah.
That's why.
Literally buying it. They have to pay for it.
They have to pay for it. It is silly, but Mumdani is claiming just that. It's time for Claim Truth. Bing, bing. Yeah, so we don't need to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I'll make the links, references available, as we do every show, like I just said, in the description. 11 a.m., go check them out. It's a pretty good little bibliography. Yesterday, Zoran Mumdani, I throw up in my mouth when I say it.
A little bit, yeah.
He made this claim in his video celebrating his fiscal success. Yeah, a democratic socialist, a Marxist. Fiscal success, the hallmark of the communist in New York City.
New York, it's executive budget season, and I'm proud to announce that our city's budget is fully balanced. This budget isn't just
I
about
call
numbers on a
bullshit.
page.
Look, if you actually believe, this dude just got elected a couple of months ago, right? If you actually believe he paid off, what was it, $12 billion in a few short months, you're insane.
It determines if our libraries get funded, if a street is safe to cross, if snow is actually shoveled after a storm.
Which
And
is
you
funny that
deserve
you
to
said
know
that.
Video.
exactly how-
He's just naming all the things he hasn't done.
That's true.
Exactly.
There's
It's
no
not safe
big
to
show.
cross the
Like,
street in New
your
York.
own
Never has been.
people
Never will.
literally there's hours and hours of footage of your government not being able to shovel snow to the point where you guys now have to shovel trash. But it's just amazing how these people lie straight to your face. Let's continue.
How we got here. We inherited a $12 billion budget deficit.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession.
Was the Great Recession. Great Recession. Many said the only way out of this was slashing services and passing an austerity budget. We rejected that. After months
No, you
of
didn't.
painstaking work, that deficit is now zero. Our city is now on firm financial ground.
Okay, so just in case you want us to cut through the fog here a little bit, here's the claim that he's making there. Mumdani is claiming that he balanced the budget. Cool. Here's the truth. Kathy Hochul balanced the budget. She gave him like $8 billion.
Oh.
$4 billion each year for 2 years. Oh, and
Okay, so this is like mom paying for everything and you considering yourself a baller.
Mumdani delayed funding pensions for like 5 years. Like, well, we're going to get to it. That's it.
Eventually.
There's no more fact check than we balance the budget. You mean someone gave you money and you actually just decided that you'd write an IOU for one of your biggest line items? Okay, let's extol the virtues of socialism in New York City. Some people will buy it. New
You are
Yorkers who are
retard,
watching right
yes.
now. I want you tell me, are your neighbors buying it? If you're watching, you probably don't. Do people there actually buy this? Are there people actually going out with a talking point? Well, Mumdani, you know, got to give it to him. That commie prick balanced the budget.
Yeah, these were all the bullets in his gun, and he has a $7 billion shortfall next year. He just pushed things a year. That was it.
I know. Enjoy your grocery stores.
Yeah, good luck.
So they're going to cut those pensions, or sorry, they're going to delay the funding of the pensions for 5 years. Also, increasing tolls on roadways, the handicap being exempt, which was great news for the ghost of Stephen Hawking.
This is fucking awesome. I will save so much on tolls.
He can move when he wants to.
Nice one.
Just need the right motivation.
He does. He really does.
Play the theme from the Breakfast Club.
Yes,
I can do it. I will do it. Ah.
Amazed. Amazed.
Look,
The
everyone's.
power of friendship.
I think he's a physicist Care Bear. Everyone is taking a hit financially. I understand that, and it's not lost on me, especially when we're talking about the Iran conflict and gas prices. Everyone's taking it, and I get it. This needs to be corrected, or President Trump is going to be facing some problems. Oh, you're still here.
All right, so yeah, Zohar Mumdani is a liar, and he sucks at his job. He got bailed out by mommy Governor Hochul, and he's bragging that he balanced the budget. Just because you bought an apartment with your mom's money does not make you a baller. Speaking to people who think they're ballers that are retards, this is Colby Covington. He choked Little Pump out. I don't know if you noticed something crazy about this. So right there, he's tapping his own titty. So he's retarded. So he's clearly tapping. Clearly tapping here too. He's tapping his leg. If you tap, the fight's over. Colby Covington is a bitch. I don't care. This ain't hard. It ain't none of that.
Look at his eyes, bro. He's out. Look at his eyes.
Yeah, he's out. Did you not feel him tapping dick nuts? That's a little gay. But look, if someone taps when you're in a fight, that's it. This dude is a retard. Big time. And you can see that in the comments. No sportsmanship whatsoever, should be banned. Dude tapped multiple times. Of course, the first time he was tapping his own titty, so that don't count. But he was very much tapping his leg. Anyway, Colby Covington is a retard bitch. Anyway, continuing on to people acting ratchet in a
high-end 5-star
steakhouse in Little Rock.
Mm-hmm. And they start screaming racism, and then the white people's not having it. Check this out.
Look. Right here, off top. Call the police. Off top, right there. This is ridiculous. I don't care what happened. You can freak out if someone actually did drop something on you, and it was clearly on purpose. Then yes, have a little mini freak out. But this at the top of your lungs, my mama never told me no my whole life bullshit. Like, come on.
Okay, this all stems from they brought out a steak. They didn't like it, so they took it back to the kitchen to recook it or something. Brought it back. They didn't like it again. They took it back, and then they brought it back.
And what it probably was is this is a fancy establishment. Okay. I don't know if you know, a lot of whites, especially in big cities, don't know how to season food proper. That's probably why I kept getting sent back. Okay, it's not racism. It's rich white people don't know how to season food proper. I'm saying.
Again, and then they just threw the steak.
Even in the South.
That's from what I hear, and this is what caused all this. Watch how bad this gets.
Hold on.
What I hear, and this is what caused all this. Watch how bad this gets.
Hold on.
Again, they took it back, and then they brought it back again, and then they just threw the steak at her.
Oh, okay. So the staff threw the steak at this loud person. Get the owner. We'll wake his ass up. Look at this. They're just going around berating people. People being like, hey, can the rest of us enjoy our meal?
Maybe it's racism.
Shut up, bitch. You don't know nothing. I'm a TikTok. I got 30 million followers.
That racism. I mean, just think about it. You want the steak. I don't know how you wanted your steak. I guess it was undercooked. I guess you like your steak well done. It came back medium rare. They took the steak back like 3 times and finally came back, take your damn steak. I don't care anymore. Yeah. And then, y'all lost it. Maybe y'all's behavior initiated this whole debacle to begin with. Or maybe they're just racist.
I've never had a steak say that. She ordered a blue rare. We put it on the grill 2 times. Where's the order? I'm gonna fix it. And then Jesus is gonna pay for it. Where's the order?
Shut your ass up. Shut your ass up. You don't know me. I got 30 million
She
followers.
looked at, maybe it was her mama, grandma, and she said, put her phone away. She looked at like, what the hell did you open your mouth for?
Put them long titties away.
Look.
I'm sorry.
Get him up here! He just came here! Shove this steak to her face! 10 million per child. 10 million per child followers. You the wrong family.
My question is, who's that? Tabby? Tabby? Hello,
Nobody
Tabby.
cares that you got 30 million followers.
Yeah, no one cares.
Backfire on y'all. Look how y'all.
This is what I'm talking about.
Who
Like,
cares
this
if you
is
got
one of the
30
main
million?
reasons why. Look, I know I stream. I do things. I am not one of these obnoxious go out and make me trying to make money other people's problems types. I would never be. Not even when I was younger. I might have been a little obnoxious in public a little bit, but nah. I'd have got checked one time and I'd have been good at most. But nah, I do not, like, I'll put on a little bit of a show, but I do not make myself a spectacle to the point where I'm ruining other people's times. Thank you. But now these TikTokers are on one. You got people like that one that Asian girl who's a Hassan orbiter who are going and actively filming themselves committing crimes, stealing, committing violent acts on camera, on stream, on TikTok, whatever. Then you got what's it, Clavicular running over, and yeah, that dude was pretty much throwing himself in front of Clavicular, and it's crazy. So that guy more or less kind of deserved it, but I don't know. And then you got what's that one dude that finally got arrested? He would go around and like push people and slap people's girlfriends' asses, but he had a big old mean looking black bodyguard, so he was getting away with all that. And then they finally got him for being a public nuisance, and he went to jail. I was so happy with that. It's obnoxious. It's spoiled rich kids getting over on people, and that's not something anyone wants. Left, right, center, don't matter. Anyway, continue.
It follows. It shouldn't motivate you to behave this way. It does not justify your decorum. Yeah, you're behaving like.
I wasn't gonna say that part, but.
Get the owner up here! Get him up here! Call the police! Sir, you call the police!
Like this is too much. And this guy that comes out right here, he kind of looks like Borat's manager from that movie.
Oh my God!
So what probably happened here, which is if you've seen some of these videos, you've seen them all. They were probably pushing him in the face, or getting their finger right there in the face with them long ass nails, and he slapped her hand or pushed the hand away. From everything that I've heard on this one, that's more than likely what happened, but it's not on camera, so we can only speculate. And look at this girl running towards these violent acts with her baby in hand. He ain't hit her.
You're holding a baby. The only people that's going to jail
Exactly.
is y'all, I would think. That is so disrespectful. I just hate that about our culture. Women, you going to jail. You going to jail. That is so disrespectful. It's alarming behavior too. Yeah. They was raised by. Trying to say it.
Jesus.
Don't say it. It's just.
I mean, it really is disrespectful.
Discriminated against our entire time.
That ain't discriminated against. Look, like I said, more than likely they didn't cook their food the way you like, or they didn't season the food the way you like. That's what happens in some of these fancy establishments. I don't like them either. And it's not because I'm poor that they're discriminating against me. It's because we got different palates. Okay, rich people are different. All right, these fancy restaurants, they're made by uppity people who taste all kinds of crazy things, and they think it makes them, fancy or whatever. That's all that is. It's not that deep. Just different palates. Okay. It's not disrespect. If you don't like the food, don't go to the restaurant. Okay, if you don't like Chinese food, don't go to a Chinese restaurant. If you don't like sushi, don't go to a sushi place. If you don't like Mexican food, don't go to a Mexican restaurant. Okay, if you don't like hamburgers and shit, don't go to what's the best hamburger? In-N-Out? I don't know. I've never had the real In-N-Out, so I don't know. So I'll say I don't know, Five Guys. What's a good hamburger that's not like McDonald's or something?
Hey, you know what? Y'all not being discriminated. Y'all
and why can't you ever just talk about what's happening? Why you got to yell?
Y'all probably rubbed the waiter the wrong way. Yeah. And then when he brought back the steak, his frustration came out. His frustration came out? Yeah. And then all broke loose.
Which was still wrong. Like I said, if he did, in fact, throw the steak at him or whatever, that was wrong. Unless you put your hands on him first. But we don't know what happened. We just know that she was screaming at the top of her lungs. And that's the best we could decipher is what happened. Whataburger's pretty good. I like apparently the Whataburger that I'd always had growing up, that was outside Arkansas Tech in Russellville. Different Whataburger. That's why every time I talk about Whataburger around people from Texas and such, they never know what the fuck I mean when I'm talking about a basket of fries. But the Whataburger from Russellville, which apparently just closed down, and I'm very sad that I never got to have it again, is no more. I guess the regular Whataburger found out about him and said, nope, not today. Hey, good morning, Yanuka.
Yeah. Y'all probably started all this. I don't know for sure, but
more
I'm
likely.
Thinking if that waiter shoved that steak in your face, he shoved it in your face for a reason.
Said sniff it, it's fine.
Our entire time here, we've been being discriminated.
That's not discrimination. It's different palates. I'm sorry. I don't like going to these kinds of places either, so I just don't go to them. That's it.
Where the cops at? He going to jail. I cannot receive.
He ain't going to jail, I can promise you that.
Wait. It was more than one person. No, I want to punch his dumb ass, but I can't. Hands, Lisa. I want to blast. It was a one guy, but I can't get that.
As soon as he hit me, I blacked out, started punching him back. I don't know who else was swinging. Who else was swinging?
The meth head hit dumb ass.
Who else was swinging?
You. He hit me?
He swung on you.
They said he swung on somebody? He don't look like he was swinging on a woman.
He's like, nah, I ain't swinging on nobody. Do I look like I swung on somebody?
Yeah, he did.
No.
See, now she's just...
You're about to press charges on your dumb ass. I'm pressing charges, bitch.
Turns out he didn't
Well,
go
it
to
didn't
jail.
happen.
She went to jail. Asia Yarbrough. Asia Marie
Two
Yarbrough.
charges of
She's
aggravated
got, like,
assault, disorderly
she said
conduct.
she's got 30 million followers on TikTok.
No shit.
She's these people that have a lot of followers on TikTok or social media, it brings out the worst in people. I don't think it brings out the worst in people. It brings out the true person because they think they're beyond approached They are above criticism. They can do whatever they want.
Let's see
because
how
they
much
have
this girl's
30
making.
million followers. Those 30 million followers.
If you
means
have 30 million
absolutely nothing.
followers
You shouldn't
on
treat people
TikTok,
this way.
and 1% of them
What
on
does a 30
average
million
watches every
followers have to
single
do
one
with
of your
anything?
videos all the way through.
I mean,
about how much money you're making if you make
I don't know.
at least one
I don't know.
5-minute video
You know,
a
it's
day.
something about the woman's intellect. You give a woman an ounce of power, man. It's the Garden of Eden all over again. Well, it's the same thing with men. No, not necessarily. Not like this. Men don't act like this. You don't think a man act like that when he gets 30 million? No. Wait a minute. Asia Yarborough,
What if you just
Marie
make one
Asia
video
Yarborough,
a
you're
week
Asian?
and
Ain't no
same
one
scenarios
you're
I
Asian.
said
You're a black
before.
woman. Oh, just because you got a 10% of Asian and you think you can claim Asian? Hey, Kelvin. Look at me. I got 20% Irish in me.
So if she has as many followers as she says she does, 30 million, and if she only made one 5-minute video a week, then she's making better than I'm doing. She's making well, that's not true. Then she's making almost a full-time job. But if she's making one video a day where someone as loud and obnoxious as this is at least making 5 minutes worth of content every single day, and on average, about 1% of your followers watches every single one of your videos. You got highs, you got lows, but on average, it says according to that, she's making over $100,000 a month. No wonder this person's acting like this. Is what happens when you give poor folk like us a lot of money out of nowhere. That's why anytime anyone poor wins the lottery, I mean, they have a good summer. But they lose that, just like Rick James. Anyway.
Can I go ahead claiming I'm Irish?
Anyway, continuing on to Trump's trip to China. Let's see.
And they get to implement their ideology on the world. Let's get to President Trump. He's going to be spending some time in China with the Chinese. And by the way, this is what I think a lot of these moves, we've talked about this, have been made with the express they're sort of always top of mind, China. When you look at Iran, you look at Venezuela, you look at Canada, you look at Greenland, all of them have one thing in common, and that is the Chinese. So he is going to be having a meeting. It hasn't taken place right now.
Is he saying Chinese? Sorry. For those of you new, I know there's a couple of you new that's in here today. I like watching Steven Crowder. One, he's pretty funny for a conservative dude, and he uses mostly left-wing sources for all of his fact checks and such. So I like to get his opinion on things. I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm a little left, but the way the left's been of late has been unnerving, we'll say. So, continuing.
Now, there aren't that many developments as of this moment, but there are 4 things that we believe or people are planning to be discussed. And there's some speculation and our thoughts. Here you go. Here's a setup clip. I forgot what it is.
This looks like a larger crowd than what I saw from 2017 for his arrival. And again, look, President Xi knows what President Trump wants. He knows that he wants a show, and he is getting one. I mean, you can see right there the coordination with the flag. It's not just 300 Chinese youths. They have a coordinated
Stop saying coordinated.
movement with
And in this
American
moment,
and Chinese
Kristen,
flags there.
let's just pause.
So
Let's
we'll
just
wait and see if he talks
listen in and everyone take in this moment.
Was that lady wearing the Vans checkered off the wall skirt pattern?
Just want to say this.
So, some eyebrows have
This
been raised, and I would say
president of
rightfully
China,
so.
also known as
Those who are joining him on his trip are all very much on the pro-Chinese.
Perhaps give him some honey?
Elon Musk, obviously, Tesla. Larry Fink, Tim Cook, Tim Apple, as he referred to him.
That's right.
Jensen Huang, NVIDIA, Brian Sykes. Marco Rubio rocking a new look. So that's kind of, he's kind of the one.
Old Marcus Rubius, first of his name.
It's exhausted.
Look at those
dad
ears.
chic.
It is, yeah.
There's even a movie regarding this trip in the works.
Jesus.
So
that looks fun.
The negotiation is going to be taking place.
I understand it's China, but I don't understand the premise of the joke. But I do love Big Trouble in Little China.
Against the United States and China. Against the United States, right? They're occupied right now, pretty busy in Iran. and the perceptions therein, the economic headwinds directly attached to Iran in many ways, and that they're going into midterms, right? So China's aware of that. They're going to probably be using that. On the other side of this equation, China, will probably be recognized by this administration as they have trade, energy instability due to Iran, right? They're far more reliant on it. They have some serious economic problems, and domestically, there's a lot of unrest and a lot of apathy, and the Chinese citizens are not that happy with.
And look, this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of okay with the Iran war as long as it's not a forever war. And for those of you who've been here for a little bit, you've heard me say this at least once. Venezuela and Iran are directly tied to China and the BRICS nations. It's where they get most of their oil and such. So I don't know if it's just people. I mean, people will always ask why Trump went after Venezuela because of the drugs. When I think it was Colombia is a much bigger source of drugs into America. It is a bigger source of drugs. It's not a bigger source of fentanyl, I'm pretty sure. And these are all tied directly to Iran and Russia. Iran and Russia, who are little besties over there. Little actual fascist dictators. And again, I think this is all by design. If it's not, it's a hell of a coinky-dink, and Trump accidentallys himself into a great situation or out of trouble, much like I do. I don't think that's the case, though. Let's continue.
With what's going on. So yesterday, the Chinese embassy put out 4 red lines that must not be challenged. The Taiwan question.
No, you got to read it like them.
The Taiwan question, the democracy and human rights. Don't you just love how they're like, okay, well, sit down and we'll dish tea.
No, I mean, and that is a part of it. But look, America, we are completely self-sufficient as long as we drill. I used to think that we should not drill in America. We should absolutely drill in America. We do not want to be dependent on other nations. And while, yes, it does give us a lot of control of global oil, I do not think that we're going to take particular control of Iran. I think in the long run, we're going to get the people who are running it, the terrorist regime right now, who are, in fact, funding terrorism, whether it be through Hamas, Hezbollah, and other terrorist networks throughout the Middle East. And he's very much backed by the rest of the Middle Eastern countries. Do I agree with some of the things that the other Middle Eastern countries are doing? Slavery still present. Treatment of women? No, I don't agree with any of that. However, it's one of those things, who are we to say how they live? They need to come along and come to these conclusions the same way that we did, by progressing as a society. And if we get rid of the actual fascist, dictatorial, and terrorist networks that mostly spawn from Iran because they have the money to fund it because of all the oil that they get, I think that we'll be, hey, we'll see you later, Frisbee. But again, is it about control of the oil? Kind of. But I think it's mostly just control over our hemisphere. I'm okay. I'm kind of okay with it either way. However, the price of the barrel does need to come down. Once the Strait of Hormuz is seen to, and I really do think that we'll give it up either back to the people of Iran once they get a better situation going there, or it'll be handed off to one of the neighboring countries, probably Saudis or UAE. But I heard Alberta is going to be independent. If that happens, they would probably increase the oil output by 10 times, since Canada limits them by policy. I really hope they do. They are the most conservative of all the Canadian provinces. They have enough signatures to push it into a vote. I think if any province has the potential to do it, they do. And I think it'd be really funny if they did, because if you look at the maps, Alberta will pretty much almost completely cut off and surround what's that westernmost province? Is it British Columbia? I'm not overly familiar. I know where Alberta is, and that's about it. But I think it would be really cool, especially whether or not they become a part of America. I know that they'll be at least strong allies. They will be the ally that the Canadians used to be, and that could be really good. And it'll make it a lot easier to get the pipeline from Alaska directly through us. Whether Alberta becomes part of America or not, they will allow us to pipeline through them. If that's not where it is already, I'd have to look that up, to be honest. But I don't know. Lots of good things happening, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think it's British Columbia. Yeah, I think it's British Columbia too. I've been in it once. I kind of got drunk with some Canadian girls in Seattle and ended up just across the border, and I was like, oh, I hope I can get back.
But off limits are human rights.
It's been about 12 years ago.
Anything bad we do.
Yeah, off limits. Like,
don't talk about my misfortune.
Well, look, I wasn't going to talk about it, but the fact that you say it's off limits makes me think you're violating human rights. No. Off limits because of perfect.
No need to improve.
Yeah, no need to look over there. Let's talk about chips. Carl Montalban. So the Taiwan question, democracy, human rights, the paths and political systems, the development rights of China. You know, the things that actually matter because they want to act like they have a leg to stand on. Yeah. Now, I will say this. I don't like the group of people who are going, and I don't like some of what I'm hearing. But President Trump historically has usually struck a tone. This is the carrot phase, right, before spending time with China, talking about how he has a good relationship. But there has been no president harder on China as a matter of policy than Donald Trump. So there's the carrot and there's the stick.
I thought it was an amazing meeting. He's a great leader of a very powerful, very strong country, China. I look forward to seeing President Xi. I've always had, his wife is fantastic. He's an amazing guy. And I've always had a great relationship, President Xi of China.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be with a friend of mine, really for a long time now, if you think about it. The very, very distinguished and respected President of China.
All right, so for those of you who are Rumble Premium members, we're going to go through the 4 things to watch.
Oh, boy.
The latest installment. It's time for good Trump, bad Trump.
Good Trump. That's a really bad Trump.
All right, 4 things to watch. First is when people are talking about investment. I don't like, again, this is just hearsay, so I don't like discussing events or topics where it's merely speculation, because we really don't know what's going to come of this. But I know that this is at the top of the news right now, and so I will try and call it as I see it. I don't like, if any of this is assuming that any of this is true. And I can tell you that New York Times is saying this is likely true. But I don't trust the New York Times, so what does that mean? Pretty much absolutely nothing. So according to, granted, more conservative economists at New York Times, Trump may be on the verge of tying the United States to China irrevocably. It's always hard when you read it and say it. So Mr. Trump and Xi Jinping are reportedly considering a deal to allow China to invest $1 trillion in the United States, largely to build factories on American soil. No.
Bad Trump.
Everyone's a little slow today. I was like, no. Yeah, let's get the. Okay, I'll do it again. American soil. No.
Bad Trump.
That's what.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I hope
we cannot
maybe
allow
the
them
kid doesn't
to
expect
own or
human
build on.
rights.
Love it. No, that's a really bad idea.
That's horrible.
There are countries we can work with on projects like that. If they're making products that they're being sold in the United States, it might as well be made here, invest here, right?
Yeah.
China's not one of them.
No, and we'll also not to mention what China does when they're allowed to purchase American soil. I don't think they should be allowed to. We need to be clear about them being a foreign enemy.
No. Put factory on America.
That's right. Wait. Did you say a factory or faggotry?
Faggotry.
Oh, make them all faggots.
Well,
Just send over more weed. Make them passive and rubber cock.
A good president.
Isn't that funny when they're like, yeah, export all the weed, do all the grow farms, but we're not going to allow it in China.
No.
I'm glad Frisbee's not here for this.
Like TikTok. I know.
It's
like,
very, very offended.
oh,
and I
great.
apologize
Watch
if
a
you
feminist
pop
on
back in.
TikTok. Tell you how to bind your tits. Not in China.
Americans so foolish with all their luxury.
That's right. All your decadence.
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 That's such a funny word in that accent.
And Huang's inclusion here also would seem to, people are speculating, Trump may be discussing the sale of high-tech NVIDIA chips to China. I will say it.
That's a really bad Trump.
Don't give them a... They're going to steal tech anyway. Don't give it to them. Make them work for it.
Which is the main reason that I'm really, really not liking the fact that all those tech guys went with him or alongside him.
Do you think you should not sell them any chips at all from NVIDIA, or just not the
I wouldn't.
edge? No chips at all?
I wouldn't.
I think
Make them do it. Make them do it themselves. Why?
They are.
Why? It's like
doing
it's
it.
like giving prisoners weights.
I mean, they're going to do it anyway. Why give them a shortcut?
Well, no. So there is a good argument to be made that there's some good move that you can make here that will keep them perpetually behind you, right? So right now they're selling them H200s, which is usually about 18 months behind. So they do that so that money comes to the United States, gets reinvested into R&D here. It also keeps them kind of dependent on the American AI stack. Now, that's at least the idea behind it. Yeah. I understand people saying, no, they don't want to do that. But then there's the other thing that they have to contend with is that China has us by the balls when it comes to robotics. If we want to advance in robotics, we will have to use Chinese companies to do it right now. Now, we should be working to improve our capabilities here, but that's not going to happen overnight. And we're going to get to this phase very quickly where we need some help in doing this. So I understand it's the devil that we don't want to work with, and we have to be very careful. But I understand that they can't just shut everything off. At the same time,
I mean,
they don't want to empower Huawei.
No. Can't shut everything off? But
you just
how
can't.
about shut off of your mouth, Benedict Gerald?
Benedict Gerald.
Come on! Benedict,
AI is awesome sometimes.
Benedict.
But Gerald Benedict.
Let me help. I hate the CCP. I hate China. I hate the... Oh, come on!
Oh, yeah, good point. We really hate the CCP.
That's right.
Say that one again.
Yeah, say it again. Very good. Thank you for it. Very good for us. We should give him PR money.
Oh, my gosh.
Still a dick. Hey, how's NVIDIA's stock doing? Is it down?
I don't
No,
think so.
dude,
No, it's not.
it's like
It's
one of the best
most
performing.
I bet you it's about to go up as Gerald is on a campaign trail for China.
I am not. Simply just... Oh, come on! Every time I go to describe it.
You know, Gerald, you were
Gerald,
really
oh,
good
no.
in red.
That's right. That's right.
Put on red shirt.
No.
I'm going to send you
gonna do it.
autograph Little Red Book.
I hate it. I don't like any of it.
Little Red Book.
I don't want them to do this.
Don't you
Just
love a
saying.
book? You read.
I do.
You love a book. Book.
He said he loves stars and stripes. But he really loves stars and half moon.
That's right. By the way, I was doing chicken. I
got
call
it.
you chicken.
Yeah, I got
you
it.
Benedict Arnold, but also chicken.
See what I have to deal with? I'm not...
What you have to deal with, no, what they have to deal with
I hope
with
you're
Benedict Gerald.
libertarianism. Very worthwhile to betray your country.
libertarian. And I don't like China.
You know, he loved
We have a
China.
nice house picked up for you, Gerald, in Taiwan.
Them behind
That's right.
us.
Big house in Taiwan. Don't talk about it.
No talk. Oh, okay.
All it these
Okay,
middlemen,
that's-
just your money, and now your crypto.
What
in
are we
one
seeing
secure,
here?
Easy to use place. Get started today. Number two. Another point that they'll probably be discussing: imprisoned dissidents. Now, I'll tell you this. You're going to watch this clip, how it starts. You're going to go, President Trump might do that thing where he says something that he shouldn't say, but he actually handles it really well and ties it all together.
I bring up Jimmy Lai. Now, Jimmy Lai, he caused a lot of bedlam. I don't know. It's like saying to me, if Comey ever went to jail, would you let him out? That's
Careful.
might be a hard
Oh,
one
here he
for
goes.
me.
Well, they ignored him, asked about asthma. Sorry, someone in the chat said, still funny when Hassan went to China, they ignored him or asked about Asmongold. That is super funny. Or how they detained him for having a Chinese a meme that wasn't necessarily flattering to the Chinese government. And he still will not call them any kind of fascist, even though you can't do that in America. You cannot, unless it calls for violence of any sort. You cannot go to jail for a tweet or a meme. What do you think this is? Western Europe?
Does it
Or
make sense?
or
It might be hard,
China?
You know, because he's a dirty cop. But Jimmy Lai isn't that way. But Jimmy Lai, he caused lots of turmoil for China. He tried to do the right thing. He wasn't successful, went to jail, and people would like him out, and I'd like to see him get out too. So I'll bring him up again. I have brought him up. There's another gentleman, a pastor, as you know, with a beautiful daughter and son-in-law that would like to see him get out.
Yeah, and just to be clear, unlike simply lying and fabricating narratives and stories out of thin air like Comey, when we're talking about that, Jimmy Lai was a founder of the anti-communist Chinese party paper Apple Daily, and the pastor he mentioned, Ezra Jin, was a pastor of one of the biggest Protestant churches that would, out of necessity, have to be underground in China, and the father of a United States citizen. So this right here, him talking about that and framing it that way, hats off to him.
Good Trump.
And I think it's important to note, this is exactly why people like Hassan Piker and those on the left love China. They support, ultimately, they won't say it because they'll say they care about freedom, but it's good for their cause for pastors to be jailed. It's good for their cause for people here in the United States who'll talk about freedom of the press, but for the same reason they defended the Castros, right? You can go back and see all of these leftists, whether it's Fonda, whether it's Rotolo, praising the Castro regime who would jail dissidents. They don't actually want dissidents to be allowed in communist governments because that would be exposing the failures of communism. So it's right in line with Hassan Piker and those of you telling, or those on TikTok telling you that, hey, China's doing great because they have a couple of trains.
Right.
The other thing that
I
we
like
discussed,
trains.
Iran,
I like trains.
Before leaving, President Trump said that she had been, and this is him kind of dangling the carrot, where I think he's trying to speak, this is speculation, speak Xi Jinping to where he wants him to be on Iran.
What is your message to President Xi as it relates to the Iran war?
Well, I think number one, we're going to have a long talk about it. I think he's been relatively good, to be honest with you. You look at the blockade, no problems. They get a lot of their oil from that area. We've had no problem, and he's been a friend of mine. He's been somebody that we get along with, and I think you're going to see that good things are going to happen. This is going to be a very exciting trip. A lot of good things are going to happen.
Do you think he needs to intervene at all with the Iranians?
I don't
think he can help in any way?
No, I don't think we need any help with Iran. We'll win it one way or the other.
And real quick, before Crowder gives his opinion, let's look at someone who's a retard grifter. Sneeko. He goes, interesting how Americans like Trump will justify war and topple regimes to defeat communism, then step 1 foot in China and start glazing. China's, while not necessarily an even playing field with us, they are probably our most direct adversary. We are very interconnected with China because of the Clinton administration, probably at least one of the two, or probably both of the Bush administrations, the Obama administration, and Biden. Just because of things like, where we send a bunch of our factories to China, and they own a lot of land inside of our country for some reason. We have to be careful when it comes to China. And Trump is a businessman, and he runs the presidency, especially foreign policy, like a businessman. Between him and Marcus Rubio, first of his name, I think they do pretty good when it comes to foreign affairs. Some people will laugh at that since we've kind of isolated our European partners. They've isolated themselves, let's be honest, first of all. And secondly, he glazes Kim Jong-un. No one's even heard Kim Jong-un say anything except that that he's afraid. So he put into place policies that if he was ever kidnapped or killed, they will nuke the world. And that's the only time we've heard from Kim Jong-un since Trump stepped across the North-South Korea line during his first term. Okay, that, first of all. And it's not glazing, it's buttering them up. Okay? Let's be honest. If Sneeko had his way, this person who says that he's anti-war, you can't just, the same thing with Putin, you can't just shit-talk him and expect him to do what you want. You have to act buddy-buddy with him. And for the most part, it's worked. Putin was relatively quiet during Trump's first presidency. And anytime Trump really asks him to do anything, he does it begrudgingly all the same. But same thing with China. And you can tell he sees him as a threat or a worthy adversary. You didn't see that with Biden. You didn't see it with Obama. They roll out the red carpet for Trump. And everything that Trump has been doing, especially when it comes to Iran and Venezuela, has been antithetical to China. If you pay attention, you might learn something, Mr. Sneeko. And it's great to see that punch to the face didn't shake anything loose and make you think any better or clearer.
I'll give it a less good.
Less good Trump.
Because it could go either way. He's kind of saying, like, right, look, no, we don't need them to get involved. As a matter of fact, we don't want you to do anything stupid, Xi. Right, he's doing that. And they both have some shared interests here where, obviously, we would like to end this conflict as soon as possible. And so would China. That being said, they have been propping up Iran. They haven't been all good. They've been using refineries to refine some sanctioned Iran oil, for example, to basically kind of bypass this. And I should say Scott Besson specifically discussed this, I think it was just last week.
He said Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They have to turn over their nuclear, their enriched uranium. He's wiped out their Air Force, wiped out their Navy, wiped out their factories, but that they are the largest state sponsor of terrorism, and China has been financing them with their energy purchases, and we've been encouraging them not to.
Now, I would say that's well said in principle, but not well said in practice. Did you notice that odd gurgling?
They have to turn over their nuclear.
It's so excessive.
Well, sorry, a little semen there. Just
You meant phlegm, sir, right?
Correct. You know what? As long as he keeps it in the bedroom and out of our treasury, I don't care. Now, they also, by the way, China have been supplying Iran with some air defense systems, things like that, drone technology. So they haven't been all good. But I can also understand why China would need to do something at that point if they think this is going to go on. It doesn't mean that it's right. They've aligned with the wrong people. And there may be a meeting of the minds that can take place here where it's like, look, it's in both of our interests to deal with this rogue actor. Do you guys want to come along here? And that's why there's a carrot and there's a stick. We're speculating on a lot of this. And I will tell you, President Trump, say what you want about him, he is a much more experienced negotiator than arguably anyone on earth alive today. He's been doing it for a very, very long time. He's very good at it. And so I don't pretend to know exactly what he hopes to yield from this. But I'm willing to bet that he has a plan, and historically he's done pretty well and certainly been much firmer on China than anyone else. The other topic, of course, Taiwan. There are some concerns that President Trump is going to concede on Taiwan issues to secure these deals with China. That obviously would be a less good Trump.
Less good Trump.
Also, violation of don't talk about Taiwan.
That's right.
It's true.
Don't ask, don't tell. Not we don't ask, you don't tell. Just don't ask and nobody tell.
Thai who?
Who? Thailand? We don't care about Thailand. Formerly Siam. That's the only Thai.
Yeah, this is Taiwan. I have Thai 2, Thai 3, Thai 4 in the closet.
That's right. Is that what you mean when you say Taiwan? I say Thai 2.
I hate you both for this.
Well, you add to it.
I can't. This is why I hate you.
Sometimes when someone say Taiwan, I say bless you. Taiwan! Taiwan! Oh,
What
it's
does
not
that
a
even
word.
mean?
You just make sound because it's not a word that exists.
Diabetes, because you're fat.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. There's Taiwan, though, again, there's some room there, wiggle room, because it has been ambiguous as a matter of policy. But we know what China wants to do. we saw what happened during COVID with the WHO and the CDC. We know the stranglehold that China has on a lot of international information. See TikTok. But I do think this is important to keep in mind. China is the enemy. China will try and subvert the United States.
Exactly.
In China's perfect world, the United States ceases to be a significant superpower, and they get to implement their ideology on the world. That's what they want. Our two views are not aligned. You can see it through policy. You can see it through treatment of citizens. You can see it through treatment, specifically freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the right to self-defense, diametrically opposed. And we've seen some results. For example, like we covered this, obviously, the Oklahoma, do we have the trailer? The Oklahoma Chinese grow farms, the marijuana grow farms.
I think they're linking it in the description.
Okay, we're going to link that in the description. We should have the trailer. We could bring it up for people who missed it.
And I don't really have time for journalism, so please leave me alone.
What?
Their primary goals is one,
Oklahoma. Oh no.
and number two, gather as much and collect U.S. currency as possible.
You ever wonder why weed got so big in Oklahoma? Now we know why. The Chinese want stupid Southerners to be stupid. Sorry.
Was foisted upon us by, again, to some degree, and by some, I mean all degrees, the Communist Chinese government.
They had 60 greenhouses and they put one family per greenhouse to run it. Each family had a 10 by 10.
And when this comes out, we will watch it live. I won't watch this. I'll watch this for the first time with you guys, I promise. It'll probably be a Saturday or Sunday special.
This was a special that we did, and then, of course,
Oh, it's on Rumble already?
national topic
Okay.
after that, where they don't allow weed in China for
All
their
right.
citizens.
We'll jump on probably
It slows you. It makes you
this
lazy
weekend or
and
next
dumb,
weekend.
whether you agree with them or not. They don't think that it's good for their citizens. It's not a productive drug. But they will export it, and they will
can
buy up
be.
our land, and they will commit, not arguably, flat out fraudulent financial practices in order to buy this up and flood the American market with cheap Chinese weed. And we don't want to allow more of that. If you were to go back historically and look at any nation with an adversary and tell them, hey, how do you feel about your adversary buying land in your borders?
Yeah.
They would have hung you.
Not just the buying land part, it's the other part that you said. It's like, okay, we're going to do something subversive to them. It's just like the TikTok playbook. Like, we need to understand that China is in a different game than we have been playing for a very long time. And we have to get in that game. And Donald Trump, more than any other president, this goes back to the wins of Donald Trump, more than any other president, understands the threat and has taken steps to mitigate the threat. Not everything perfect, not everything I would do potentially, but he has done more than anybody else. And a country coming in and growing weight, it's like, yeah, what can we do to subvert their culture? What can we do to make them dumber, slower, less focused on productive output as a country? Oh, weed farms. Fantastic. They've legalized marijuana in a number of places. Let's just use it against them.
Right.
Why would you ever allow that?
I mean, it is kind of brilliant.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, too, is, look, I think that and I understand, this idea of just the old stoner, the pothead, that's not necessarily true. You have plenty of people who are CEOs, high-functioning individuals, who use it as a tool similar to how people use alcohol. I think the more science that we're actually seeing come in now, we know how harmful it is to the developing brain, young people, in a way unique to a drug stored in fat. I think we know that it is not without consequence. It doesn't mean that it's the most harmful drug on earth, and it doesn't mean that it should be scheduled alongside heroin. But I think that, okay, people can use it responsibly. There are people I know who do use it responsibly, and it doesn't negatively impact their life. But if you had an interest, you could very easily sway people and push them into using it irresponsibly.
Yeah.
You know, for example, someone taking a gummy to sleep, or because they're dealing with chronic nerve pain and it might help them, or a cancer patient with appetite issues, or someone who just wants to unwind and eat a meal, go to bed at the end of the day so they can recover. That's very different from billboards saying wake and bake.
Yeah.
And people smoking in their car, and people smoking in parks, and people numbing themselves from basic human interactions and not experiencing life because they're in a perpetual haze. We've seen that. That was a big push for a while.
That.
We can't say the same about alcohol.
Right.
No one says, wake up and drink a fifth of Jack. You have a problem. Everyone recognizes you have a problem.
We built this country on whiskey. Come on.
Yeah, we did.
We kept going.
Pretty much.
Depends
It's
on where
amazing
you're
the
from,
tolerance you
maybe.
develop when you do it with great regularity. You just got to pump up those numbers. And do we have the teaser or the trailer for the marijuana? Because I know we released that at one point.
Not yet. They could send it in if
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Working on it. Working on it.
Yeah, I'd like that, you guys, if you guys could send it in. Otherwise, is there anything else, or we want to just go to chat?
I think chat. I mean, right now, actually, sorry, I said that, but right now I saw on CNN they were actually saying that there's kind of a developing story. Who knows what that really means? Speculation. That Donald Trump may push President Xi in to help open up the Strait of Hormuz and push Iran to a peace deal.
I thought you were going to say push into a pit of vipers.
I thought you were going to push him on the third rail.
We could do that too.
So I was hoping for push him down the stairs.
Yeah.
You know?
So, we go from, I don't really need China to do anything to, I think, kind of this process of, well, yeah, of course, like this is one of the big client states of Iran, the biggest. And so let's push them to push Iran to get this done, because it's hurting China.
Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah, there could be some shared interest there. Again, if it's
no,
done
it's
sensibly
hurting
and fairly. But yeah, I was
China.
hoping to be like, look here, I hear you guys are building show me your trains. How you go a very fast train? What's that down there? No, not gonna trick me. Just picks them up and throws them. That's what he should do.
I hear you have a great wall.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a wall builder myself. I'd like to see. Can you show me, please? Whoa, lean over.
It's a question. How obnoxious are the Mongolians?
Whoa, I see one there. Look down.
Yeah, China. This is always a problem they have too. That eventually the moral decay.
Anyway, the rest of this
guy
just sounds
right
like
here did the
jibber
dumbest
jabber.
thing ever to get shot by police. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna let this play out for a little bit. We're not doing a quartering thing here, I promise. I'll probably end up saying something through it, but for the most part, I just want to comment on what his Caucasian wife said at the end, because this is a very stupid scene.
Check this out.
It's from an incident at a Gastonia convenience store back on January 10th.
It involved a pair of Gastonia detectives doing an alcohol compliance check at Jacob's Food Mart on Gaston Avenue. Take a look.
I just said, what's up? I just said, what's up? I said, what's up? That's it. Straight up. What time you want?
And investigators say the video shows Derek Manigault. That's the man in the red.
So, like I said, depending on what your face looks like, if you got a resting bitch face, whether you man or a woman, especially if you a dude, and you say just say hi to the wrong person, depending on where you are, could initiate we'll say a moment.
Red tracksuit getting into an argument with another man. Their argument continues then inside the store.
Again,
and
over the look on your
escalates
face
to
when
the
you say
point
what's
where
up to somebody.
Manigault is heard saying, quote, "You trying to lose
There's a difference between "What's up, man?" with a smile or "What's up? What's up, man?"
life tonight." He then stands in front of the door and pulls what appears to be a handgun from his waistband. And at some point, one of the plain-clothed Gastonia detectives was at the counter pulling his gun and began firing at Manigault.
Bags. I promise. Oh.
And did the cop shoot too many times?
Now the detective
Sure,
followed
maybe.
Manigault to the door, as you can see, continuing to fire. The other detective was outside and also fired his weapon at Manigault.
Manigault collapsed and died at
But
the
you
hospital.
pulled a gun
His
out.
weapon actually turned out to be a realistic-looking plastic imitation gun.
Why would you
Witnesses
do
told
that?
Investigators, an undercover detective tried to de-escalate the situation before pulling his weapon. Gaston County District Attorney Travis Page determined the use of deadly force
why?
was justified. Gastonia police still conducting an internal
Because it
review
looked
of
pretty
the
real
incident.
Only
in the
Channel
moment, I'm
9's
sure.
Gaston County reporter Ken Lemon spoke
Why
to
would you
that man.
Why would you pull a gun out for a verbal altercation? Why?
His wife today, and Ken, she
Fake or
says
not,
she won't give up. the
it's there
fight
to
for
look like a real
justice.
gun, so everyone thinks it's real.
Rebecca Inslee Manigault fought tears.
He was my biggest supporter, and I was his. So he knows I'm not going to give up.
We spoke just after the district attorney told her he
You
would
should.
not file
Your husband's a
charges against the
retard. I'm
Gastonia
sorry.
Police officers who shot and killed her husband, Derek Manigault, at Jacob's Food Mart in January.
My confidence is shattered. The wrong decision was made.
Yes, the wrong decision was made. Your stupid ass husband carried a fake gun, pulled it out, and cops saw it. I mean, who made the wrong decision? Did the cop unload too many shots? Yeah, probably. However,
The wrong decision was made. That's crazy. I was expecting some ratchet ghetto woman. There's a Seemed like a level-headed white woman.
Nah, not with them words that she's saying. Dumbass.
Look, there's a reason why I don't walk around with replica guns and pull it on people and then threaten them
Replica
in the
or
gas
real?
station that I'm gonna
It's
take
the
your
same
life.
result.
You know what's crazy? Why would you do that? You know what's crazy about this whole incident? What? Not that the police officer did anything wrong, but
that she don't
he
think
never
that he
pointed
did
the
anything
weapon
wrong?
at anybody. He was actually leaving the store, and even when he got fatally shot, he still wasn't pointing the weapon at anybody. I mean, I just want to make that point. Well, he's black. You think you're gonna give him a second chance? Hell no, he's black, big, tall black guy dressed in red, looking like a blood. They're not gonna give him any second. I can't believe her response. Listen at this. It gets worse.
Travis Page's report says the Constitution does not require police to gamble with their lives in the face of a serious threat of harm. The report includes a picture of Manigault with what turned out to be a prop gun in his hand. It says he created a threat and at least 3 times asked the man he was arguing with, "You trying to lose your life tonight?" The
Exactly.
images come from the store security camera. Manigault's wife says she saw the entire video.
The gun was never raised.
It don't matter. It was brandished, and he threatened people with it. That's all you need. The gun was never raised. Get fucked, lady. It's stupid ass people like this supporting other people to make stupid ass decisions that get us into all kinds of stupid ass situations.
Was never raised.
The report said Manigault's
It was brandished. Retard.
hand moved up as he left the store. The undercover officer fired multiple shots at him.
The officer emptied his clip.
In this picture, you can
Yeah,
see the
it's
officer
a bit much.
standing in the doorway firing at Manigault. The report says another undercover officer in a car outside stepped out.
He was hunted.
Hunted my ass. He was not hunted. His dumb ass got caught being retarded.
Someone with a cell phone kept.
He was hunted. No, he wasn't hunted. Just, man, he made a stupid decision. Man, that was stupid.
Yeah.
Why are you flexing on an old man in front of a gas station?
Yeah.
Talking about you going to take somebody's life. It seems to me that it was a misunderstanding. All he said, what's all that for? Did you hear him say that? He said,
What, arguing
with the guy? Yeah, he said, I said, what's up? You know, he was just saying,
Just saying
hello. Yeah, I think the guy dressed in black with the
And
black
he
leather
started the
jacket,
fight.
I think he thought the guy was challenging him or something to that effect.
This is what happens when suburbanites go to I mean, we'll call them like less suburban urban areas. This is what happens when suburbanites go to town, we'll say. They always try to flex. They've seen a couple of movies, you know what I'm saying? They've watched movies about city living. They've watched movies about poor communities, so they think they know something. This dude was clearly suburbanite. I mean, just listen to how his wife talks. She's also a retard. She's Anne Hathaway in Havoc. Okay.
When you go up and say, when you come up to somebody, especially the black community, you should be like, hey, what's up, man? Put a smile on the face. Yeah. That black dude in red came up dressed in already said, what's up? Yeah. And that's where the miscommunication was. Right. But I can't believe she's taking this posture with what happened. Well, that's her husband, and she made a valid point, Keith. He never pointed the weapon at anybody. He brandished the weapon.
Yeah,
but
he
didn't
brandished
do
it. That's
you
enough.
Trying to lose your life? He said, trying to lose your life? Hey, Kevin, what? That's crazy. A black man said you trying to lose your life? That's crazy. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm just I'm just trying to affirm what she said. I get that. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. I totally get it. Yeah, yeah. But why would you do that knowing that the gun is fake to begin with? Amazingly stupid. Why you look?
Hold on. In the comments, Mr. Backwood said, where I live, he would be shot. Dumb decision. We even have a sheriff who said it's less paperwork. Probably true. That's what I'm saying. Why brandish it at all? You'll either get shot by the person you trying to flex on, or get shot by a stray cop who just happens to walk in, or you didn't know was already in there in plain clothes, carrying his own piece, and he'll lay you to peace. Police be upon him.
It's like you out here looking for street cred or something.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's a suburbanite.
Street cred. He's wearing
that's all it
nothing
is.
but red.
Outside, stepped out.
He was hunted.
He said. Someone with a cell phone captured what happened next. The DA's report does not say whether the officer gave any commands before the shooting. Manacle's wife says she didn't hear that in the video.
There were no verbal commands. There was nothing to comply with.
Drop the gun.
She's coming to grips, knowing that the officers will not be charged.
Heartbreak.
Like if a cop's
all
shooting
over
at you,
again.
if anybody, like I understand he don't know this man's a cop. Sure. He should have said something, the cop, 100%. Because how do you know it's a cop? Could just be some fat redneck. Sure. But again, that's a suburbanite. Anyone who's from a city can usually spot a cop. Whether it's the haircut, the way they carry themselves. Okay? If you know, you know. You can spot a cop. Whether it's plain clothes or not. Put the gun down.
The rage that builds up.
Manacle's wife told me she respects the fact that the district attorney has tough decisions to make, but she's working.
Bruh, I swear for a second I thought that was his name, Marietta. I was like, that's Marietta. Why would you let Marietta be that's the street? I'm a retard.
To find a way to fight this one and may even seek help from the Federal Department of Justice.
You crazy? You think Trump administration would do something? He ain't doing nothing.
Hell no.
You know, I do understand where she's coming from. They didn't give him a command to drop the weapon, and he never fired a shot, but they kept shooting. I get it, but he just brandished it. Yeah.
Well, then he pulled it up though. When he was running, he pulled it up like he was going to shoot it after he'd already been shot at and probably hit at least once, shot at several times, and he pulls the gun up, as you can see in the video. You ain't getting nothing.
She's going to want to fight for her husband. But you know what? They interviewed a civil attorney, and watch what he says. Okay.
It's when did the threat occur? Are you placing someone in what's called imminent fear of bodily harm, and are you placing someone else in imminent fear?
My boy Yanuka just hit me up on X. What's up, man?
Bodily harm, because the standard is I have a duty to protect myself. I'm able to do that, and I can protect someone else. So that would be self-defense or defense of others. It's that at that moment where he pulls out the handgun and others. I'm able to do that.
Let's listen to what this
imminent fear of bodily harm. And are you placing someone else in imminent fear of bodily harm? Because the standard is I have a duty to protect myself. I'm able to do that, and I can protect someone else. So that would be self-defense or defense of others. It's that at that moment where he pulls out the handgun and it's by his side. That's when the officer, I believe that in this report saying that he believes that he was in imminent fear of bodily harm. Him running out of the door after the shots fired, that's where I would break down the other portion. That turning towards the officer and turning and trying to run where he's pausing and show the firearm pointing in the officer's direction. I think at that moment, that's where I would say that he was justified to be in imminent fear of bodily harm.
Yes.
In the store.
Okay.
I'm not.
My bad. When I listened to this the first time, I don't know if I was just sleepy, but I thought this dude was on the gunman's side.
Not sure. From looking at that, I'm not sure if I would say the standard is imminent fear of bodily harm, because traditionally,
too many shots. But right there, like I said, this gun is facing this direction. Yes, it's fake. That makes this dude even dumber. Okay, I don't know how old this dude was. He looks like he's maybe 30, 40. I say that's a pretty good run of this kind of dumb shit you get into, man. I'm just saying.
Where another individual is literally pointing the gun at someone. And then my client may not have raised his gun at that moment, and that self-defense issue is still contemplated, where this person now would have to go to trial and go through determining if I will defend myself. And so I'm not sure there. What I can say is I'm certain if this goes to civil wrongful death claim, that the family will be successful in bringing the claim against them easily. The standard is different. For criminal cases, we're talking about reasonable doubt. That standard is that's the higher standard in our justice system. It's preponderance of the evidence in civil cases. So you're talking about more likely than not. So was it more likely than not that he did not feel justified in that shooting? I think it would be very easy for a jury of your peers to find the officer's actions there may have been outside what would have been required in that scenario because the threat hadn't occurred yet.
That is a great point. The guy, he made some verbal threats, but he was actually leaving the store. He hasn't pointed the weapon at anybody. The officer starts firing shots at him. He takes off running. The officer comes around, pursues him, and keeps shooting.
Nah, that ain't what happened. Look, the guy threatened someone. He said, "You want to end your life tonight." The other dude didn't do anything to provoke that kind of response from the dude in red, the dude in the Balenciaga tracksuit, Mr. Fancy Pants suburbanite. But yeah, he took off running about 3-4 steps. Then he turned around and pulled it up, and then lost his life.
Well, stupid him, he stops and turns around and looks back,
Bam.
holding the gun. Well, he's going to try to dodge the bullets. That's why didn't he just run off to the right? He should have just ran that way. Somebody's shooting at you, your pants is around your knees because you sagging. I mean, you got so much going on.
I mean,
through
that
your
is
head.
true.
Yeah, I can't believe the cop missed him while he was inside the store.
That is true. I think he tagged him at least once. Might have just
How
clipped
did you
him.
even see him?
But it did sound like
He
most of
goes
those hit
running,
the.
He pursues him, never gives him a command to drop the weapon or anything.
Yeah.
He don't know who that guy is. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, criminally, I don't think the police officer did anything wrong, but civilly, more likely he's going to be found. Well, they always pay out anyway. Yeah, they're going to pay. They're going to pay out. They're white.
But anyway, from here we're going to get into a little bit of Lord Nuxanor.
Benjamin Elliston, senior budget analyst, funding manager at the White House. Yeah, it's pretty bad, bro. It's pretty bad. The house is going to be getting a little bit whiter when you're replaced, sir. Anywho, it's getting pretty bad out there for the Trump ops. They keep falling apart because Trump keeps winning. I was promised that I would get sick of the winning, and yet I am not sick of the winning. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird.
All right. So here we're going to get into it with Schlomo Fuentes. We're going to see a little bit of his debate, I guess, or conversation, more like, with the Crowder. And then Schlomo Fuentes will go against, that's right, you guessed it. Was it Dan Goya something?
Our guy over here, Steven Crowder, just did a little debate with Nick Fuentes, who's been urging everyone to vote for Democrats. All right, and I'm not going to lie here. It really feels like this is a debate between someone that's grounded in reality and someone delusional. That's how bad it came off.
I really believe that this administration is...
I agree. But real quick before he starts, I do not think that Fuentes is a grifter. I don't agree with a lot of the things that he says. I think that, if anything, he is the calmer one of the anti-Zionist movement, I guess. I think he's the only person who actually believes what he says. I think Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, I think they're all grifters who are bought and paid for. I do. But I think Fuentes actually believes what he says. Whether or not that makes him more or less dangerous, I'll leave that up to you. I just wanted to make that clear. I don't think that he's bought and paid for, because the dude makes like no money. He's only on Rumble, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't watch him, really. But anyway, let's continue.
It's just cooked. Like, I don't think there's going to be a course correction. I have no faith in this administration.
Course correction. Just to understand, under the Democrats, we would get cooked. Border would be open. 30 million more illegals. Pack the Supreme Court. Gerrymandered all the states the way they wanted to. Like, it would be really, really bad. So yeah, I think the entire stance of Trump betrayed us by killing terrorists that are trying to make nukes, that he's been saying that he was planning on doing for like the last 40 years. All right, or Trump betrayed us by, that's extreme. All right, he didn't stab you in the back. All right, he shifted the Overton window for sure. The public discourse has changed radically. Free speech is actually back in this country, and that's aside from net negative migration, which is the first time it's ever happened in our lifetime. All right, like, I could keep going with W's we've been having, aside from obvious gerrymandered districting W's, which is insane. Roe v. Wade overturned, which is crazy, and the wins are actually massive. All right, but anywho.
I think Trump is old. The people around him are very bad. And so I think the real question is, and this is a huge question, who will be Trump's successor? Because that person is going to define the direction of the party. And I really believe there should be a very competitive primary for the presidential race in 28.
Right, with you.
And what they're trying to do is consolidate support around either Vance or Rubio.
Meaning they're trying to win. They're trying to take the two most public figures on the Republican Party and actually try to win an election against the Democrats, which are trying to rape our civilization. Yeah.
I'm sure you know, behind the scenes, there's a very big fight going on between donors and between
And we can
party
watch this as well.
personnel.
Nux actually
Are they
got
gonna
a
get
sponsor
behind
on this
Rubio,
last
which
Really?
seems to have the backing of the
Yeah, he's had
neocons
a
and
couple. He don't
Mark
get too many.
Levin and AIPAC and Miriam Adelson, or are they going to get behind Vance, who has the support
Palantir.
of Little Tech, Palantir, Tucker, you know?
Yeah, and that
he's
makes me
gonna
nervous
clearly run
about
in the more
Just
America
Dance
First
Vance.
lane. At least nominally, he's going to claim that. And I think that
I just want to say, for the most part, I like Vance, but I think he might be a what's it, a dark horse or whatever it is, or someone who I don't know. Like I said, he seems all right. He's very good with his the way he talks. I was very excited about him to be, the next follow-up. I'm not usually big on Republicans, but I think Marcus Rubius, first of his name, would be a much better choice to follow up. I did just want him to be in the same position with whoever the next person, probably J.D. Vance, but now I'm thinking Marcus Rubius needs to get in there. But again, I hope this is not the same story with him. I hope he continues on the path that he's on right now, because he's killing it.
we should not have consolidation where it's 80% behind one candidate. I think it should be wide open. I also don't like either Rubio or Vance, because I think you get a neocon or a Palantir guy. And so to me, the only way to have an open field is if everyone
I'm more optimistic with Rubius,
is sufficiently weakened. So I'm actually rooting for Democrats to degrade and sabotage.
Really glad he's laying his position out there. I'm really glad that the position is getting so fundamentally laid out so we can all understand
this administration and the people in it, so that they're less politically viable, and maybe that clears the way for a dark horse or an outsider, someone from outside the MAGA.
Vance and Rubio, they just like Jews a little bit too much. We're gonna need to destroy the Republican Party by importing infinite retards into the country and get a Hitler.
A Mar-a-Lago Trump administration to maybe clinch the nomination in 28. And to me, that's really the big picture.
Okay, so here's my primary problem,
what
you just said.
Here we go.
It's a keyword maybe. So my first question is the roster. You say, yeah, competitive primary. I agree.
Sure.
I hear who you don't want. The roster, the funds, the ground game. Maybe, right? Because you've tried this before. It's failed. The losses are real, the Democrats that we faced.
Right.
I would argue, I think it'd be tough to argue against. Worst 3 years in modern American history. The wins, the potential wins that you're describing are imaginary with no concrete. And I know that you talked about this with Dan Bilzerian, so I'm not trying to sandbag you here, but if I'm going, okay, there's a risk. It's a political play. Well, I won't be able to take part, along with many conservatives, Republicans, because I cannot vote Democrat. Doesn't mean I'll vote for Republicans all across the board. Can't vote Democrat. But the roster, the funds, the ground game. You know, the things that you need to win elections in 2028 through the major risk of handing the country over to Democrats when we know that that means open borders, packing the courts, turning them into citizens, DEI back in the administration, H-1B skyrocketing again, all of that. Huge risk, concretes, so we see the payoff.
And honestly, he's just kind of right here. Like, he's being very polite about this entire discussion, but I think it's very polite of him to basically say, you're willing to sacrifice the entire country on the chance of getting some dark horse, epic, Giga Chad candidate that's actually going to do all the things. I don't know, man. I think that it's a little bit insane. I think the best way to shift the Overton window and keep pushing people more right is when people are more right-wing than the administration. Look, I'm happy with Trump. I think Trump did a lot of really good things. Sure, I disagree with certain things, and I wish he would have done better in certain areas. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, actually, abject failure, total backstab, especially because the country is more right-wing now than it ever has been ever. The actual Republicans, they're losing their primaries, the gay ones. All the gay Republicans are cooked. We're replacing them with actual radicals, or we're absolutely trying. We are making phenomenal progress, just socially. And we don't have Democrats in office. We didn't need Democrats in office to get ourselves there. Democrats in office will make us vote for literally fucking anybody that isn't a Democrat, and we're going to end up with the most lukewarm, centrist, gay fucking Republican of all time. Just because, like, holy shit, we got to get away from some AOC president, God forbid. We take literally fucking anybody on the right. And I don't want that. I don't want President Vivek Ramaswamy in charge of the country because we fucking absolutely despise the fact that Gavin Newsom decided to give citizenship to infinite illegal aliens. All right, sorry. Now, one of the major claims here also is that the reason why DHS morale is low is because Trump is holding them back.
Well, the morale is low.
I actually really don't. You're probably more welcome than I am.
Really?
Surprising as it is. You're more congenial.
I'm a pretty congenial guy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm more of a
friendly. No, you're a good guy, Steven. We get along, but in DHS, the morale is super low. They're literally going and telling people
it's low because of sanctuary cities and people fucking kicking out their taillights and they're being hamstrung like you're sidestepping people.
Objectively true.
Sanctuary cities. The left will not deport violent felons in our prison system, Nick, and you're telling people to vote for them.
Yeah, so it's total delusion to think that the reason why ICE isn't doing more is because of Trump, and as opposed to the fact that the Democrats literally decided to do little insurrections in every single major city across the entire country.
This is true.
And we are actually pushing legislation, unfortunately really fucking slowly, because Trump isn't activating the National Guard nearly enough, don't get me wrong. I'm not, like, absolving Trump here, but to say that...
Hold on real quick. Guys... And this is why people like flat earthers irritate the shit out of me. Okay. So the world is round. Okay. And maps, so globes show this perfectly, right? However, maps, you have to put all these squares make a circle. You have to put something spherical onto a flat rectangle. That's why this is 6,400 kilometers. I don't know if that's accurate. And this is 7,200 kilometers. Okay? This isn't actually this big. Okay? It's like it's like I don't know what's something the cleavage shot of girls on dating sites. Okay, the top down, so you can only see the boobs and the eyes, but you can't see the big fat tummy or the dick. But no, that's what this is. Okay, all these squares make a circle. These spreading a sphere out to where it fits on a rectangular map makes everything north of a certain line and south of a certain line in some cases. Okay, but it's easier on the south because pretty much all you have to contort is Antarctica, and that's why a lot of dick nuts retards think that the greater Earth theory is real, and it could be awesome, and I would be cool if it was. However, anyone who thinks that this is actually the size of Russia, just get help. Okay? Get help. Go back to school. Finish school.
That morale is low because of Trump and not morale is low because Antifa terrorists and Islamists and retards are throwing bricks at their heads. That's very different, and the mayors of these cities are literally working with these people. Look, man, I would love a president that would sit there and be like, oh, you're endorsing violent riots against our agents, and then arrest the entire government of a city. That sounds fucking awesome. And you know how we're going to get there? Not by voting for Democrats. We're going to get there by voting for more and more radical Republicans on a city level, a state level, and on a federal level. We are actually going to get a fucking badass administration at some point in my lifetime. It's going to happen. We're going to get actual savage radicals. But unfortunately, it seems like some people are so pigeonholed into their little ideology. Like, Nick Fuentes is like, the Jews bad, Jews controlling everything. So therefore, he just doesn't want to vote for any candidate that's pro-Jew. You're pro-Jew, you're cooked in the Nick Fuentes world. All right, and look, man, I don't even care if he hates the Jews. I think lots of people hate the Jews. I love our country, and I want what's best for our country. What's best for our country is not some guy that, well, at least he hates the Jews. And I keep seeing so many people with these agendas pushing their bullshit because of the agenda. Their agenda first and country second, and it's insane. But like Tucker Carlson, who even Nick Fuentes thinks is getting paid off by Qatar.
We have, Mug Club subscribers, and I know because you've been around a long time, we started from the ground up, and then we do one spot a day. And you too. I mean, you weren't a part of some big conglomerate, or as far as I know, any massive nonprofits. And I can't confidently say that about, I'd have to think, most anyone else in this movement. I think you represent yourself, and I represent myself. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
And that's why I act in good faith here, by the way.
Money there? Tucker?
Thumbs up. Why is he always in the Gulf? He's always over there.
Yeah.
They got great fishing over there.
He does.
The Red Sea, everybody
I
knows
bought a
about it.
house in Qatar. That's my right as an American. You're like, I don't see the connection there, actually.
Hello, shapeshifter. How are you?
Is that on the back of the declaration?
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
I don't know. Just let me know.
He takes a Gulf to the Gulf to golf.
Well, he's very, very pro the Gulf. It's not just that he has a house over there that he sees business opportunities. He's very pro. Speaks glowingly about them. Like, okay, you're fawning a bit, dude.
I can't wait for his third outfit change. He starts wearing those man dresses with the picnic table hat there.
He's
just holding the.
No, that is one thing I have to say, and I always try to be very honest about this stuff. I appreciate honest people immensely. And while I think that it's a bit traitorous of people like Nick Fuentes to actually support the Islamic regime and hope that they win the war and vote Democrat and shit, I do think he's actually honest. And while I think his strategy is a bit retarded, I actually do respect that he's actually doing something that he believes is best for the country, even though I think it's not. And that's really why I like Crowder, too. He also strikes me as a very honest, upfront guy. Like, the Tucker Carlsons and the Megyn Kellys and the grifters of the world, like, these guys are fucking insufferable. And I cannot extend that same charitability to them. All right, I'm a very decent guy, okay? I treat you in the same level of good faith that I believe you treat me. All right, so while I disagree with your policies and strategies, and I think they're a little bit retarded, I'm not going to sit here and call you a Fed, which seems to be the strategy of everybody else trying to just discredit people.
I mean,
so
I will, but I don't
Fed.
mean
now,
it.
Speaking of Feds and retards, all right, so this is Dan Bilzerian. He's another one of these anti-Trump guys saying that Trump needs to be executed, talking about how he wants to execute and assassinate Israeli politicians and Ben Shapiro, allegedly. All right, this is new revelations from this guy. He is running for Congress in Florida purely on the Jews bad card.
I mean, hold on.
He is running petition, execute, and read everybody else trying to just discredit people. So I try to be good.
Let's get that one more time here. By the way,
all right, so this is Dan Bilzerian. He's another one of these.
More than likely Saturday, shapeshifter.
Talking about how he wants to execute and assassinate Israeli politicians and Ben Shapiro, allegedly. All right, this is new revelations from this guy. He is running for Congress in Florida purely on the Jews bad card.
I mean, honestly, the only real battle in the world today that I see worth fighting is fucking, exterminating Israel. I mean, I would sign up tomorrow and go fucking put boots on the ground and go fucking kill Israelis. That would be a great day for me.
All right, so this is him talking to Sneeko, another America First patriot.
Fucking sign up on the fucking draft waiver wherever. Give me a fucking give me a rifle and send me the fuck over there. I truly believe that the majority of that country is evil and they're perpetuating a genocide.
Oh my God, a pretendicide is happening. Anyway, so again, this dude decided
The
that he was
pretendicide
going
is
to do
happening.
his absolute best. He's going to run for Congress on the Israel bad ticket. That's literally the only thing he knows. He doesn't even know how the government works. He was going to host some sort of rally in the wrong district. He accidentally hosted a rally in the wrong district and then canceled it because apparently no one showed up. Like, it's really bad. All right, he's an Instagram whore, hooker, gambler, drug addict, and now he's doing this whole grift shit, and he's getting funding from Qatar and shit. So it's pretty weird watching this happen again and again and again. Now the biggest twist of all time. Randy Fine, he's the Jewish congressman that this guy's trying to run against, said he's willing to stop aid to Israel. He's obviously lying. The pressure is getting to him.
I have it saved now.
I'm also against aid to Israel, to be honest. Congress has no accountability. Politicians lie.
See there,
I mean,
Dan Goyzerian?
I have no idea why you think he's lying. I don't see any evidence that he's lying, but I guess you think he's lying. The Jewish shadow ban censorship continues.
And just so you know, Netanyahu's even talking about weaning Israel off of American aid. So what is this guy even talking about?
I only got 50,000 likes on this tweet from Pakistanis. I can't believe it. The Jewish censorship. All right, now this is the craziest thing. He wrote in his book, I'm part Jewish, and he says 12% doesn't make you a Jew. He's literally Jewish, bro. He's literally Jewish. Now, the reason why this is funny is because if you go to Dan Bilzerian's account, his entire career is just going to every Jew on Twitter and saying, silence, Jew. Right? This is literally his entire fucking thing. Right? You can never trust a Jew. Silence, Jew. And he goes to all the Jews. Silence, Jew. The Goyim are talking. The Jewish shadow ban. It's his entire account. All right? Just silence, Jew. Right? Bro, that is literally his entire personality is Jews bad. And bro just admitted to being Jewish. 12%.
David Draymond.
All right. right, bro. We got Rabbi Gert Goldberg here. I don't know who this guy is. Oh, yes, it's...
Sorry, if you don't know, David Draymond is the Jewish lead singer of Disturbed.
Dan, congratulations and welcome to the club. I'm glad
So he's fighting
you're
all the
comfortable.
Jews, even the secular Jews.
The Jews are back, boys and girls. Here we go. Here we go. Nick Fuentes, all right, says live on Rumble discussing Dan Blazarian's Jewish heritage. There is trouble in paradise, ladies and gentlemen. All right,
The Goyim are fighting each other.
To have your entire personality being how Jews bad, and then it turns out you're Jewish. That's really awkward.
I mean, it is
so
awkward.
This guy is lying again. I wrote my book 4 years ago, not 10, and Hitler doesn't consider 12% a Jew. You are literally Armenian. Hitler wouldn't have liked you anyway. That's one. And two, bro is literally saying,
Hold on. So this is... yeah, that is German-blooded, yes.
not a Jew, because Hitler wouldn't count it. Silence Jew. No one cares about your opinion, Dan Blazarian. Dan Goyzerian, haha. Andrew, that's anti-Semitic. Oh, come on. Jews gotta find this fucking hilarious. As a Jew, this is the funniest fucking shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Just absolute cinema. Every single Trump op looks like a fucking
Bill
retard.
Juicy.
I don't know what kind of spell casting wizardry Trump has been casting upon his ops, but they are all falling apart. Leaked phone calls, and honestly, this entire vote for Democrat thing, it's so fucking retarded under like 1 ounce of scrutiny. All right, we got this guy out there saying that Trump is too Jewish and he wants to exterminate Israelis and he's running for Congress. Bro gets absolutely slaughtered, admits he's a Jew, gets humiliated by everyone.
Nobody likes this guy. Nobody likes
this
this guy.
Down to like 10%. It's pretty bad. It's really, really bad. It's honestly insane. And this is the biggest one. Thomas Massie, who was always a Republican. He's a Republican guy who's backstabbed Trump on every single bill he possibly could. Sorry, I know there's a lot of Massie fans out there. In my opinion,
I used to
this
be.
dude is allying up with the left, with Ro Khanna and Ilhan Omar to cuck Trump in every way he can and still make believe he's Trump's golden boy while he's running for re-election right now. And it's really bad. So just understand what's been going on. All right, so he has been calling Donald Trump a pedophile, essentially, because of the Epstein files.
Responsibility. And just very quickly, if you will, you've supported most of what Donald Trump has done during his presidency. But because of your actions with these files, he is supporting your primary opponent and has waged very personal attacks on you. I know we just have a few...
Yeah, because he refused to vote for the big, beautiful bill, and also because he's been pushing...
Why is this old
the most
bag on
dangerous
TV,
insinuations
first of all?
time, that Trump is running some sort of pedophile cult. Yes, Trump all of a sudden doesn't want this guy around. Is this really surprising to you? Like, I don't know. A lot of people, I can't believe Trump would endorse his opponent just because he called him a pedophile? Yeah?
Seconds here, but just your reaction to that. Look, this is about the Epstein class, the people who are funding the attacks.
This is such fucking horse shit, it's insane. He is literally pushing Pakistani-ass talking points. Like the lowest IQ leftoid slop is pouring out of this guy, and he wonders why Trump is supporting the guy that's challenging him.
Against me. They may or may not be implicated in these files, but they were certainly rubbing shoulders with the people who are in these.
That's right. Donald Trump threw Epstein out of his house in 2006. He was an FBI informant that got him arrested in 2008. Under Trump, they arrested him again in 2019. And under Trump, they released the Epstein files. Like, my guy, if you were so worried about the Epstein class, why were you fucking silent for 4 years under Biden? All right, this dude was around under Biden when zero progress was made on Epstein, and you said nothing. And now that Trump is here, you're going to stab him in the back and make believe that this is the thing you cared about the most the entire time? Like, I cannot stand these two-faced bootlickers.
Files. They're billionaires who are friends with these people, and that's what I'm up against in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump told us that even though, you know, he had dinner with these kinds of people in New York City.
He had dinner with rich people. I can't believe it. Anyway, Thomas Massie accused Donald Trump of being in with the Epstein class without hesitating. Now Massie is silent in the face of accusations that he tried to pay hush money to an ex-girlfriend to stop her from pursuing a workplace relationship claim. Oh my. Trouble in paradise? It's always the ones that scream the loudest, isn't it? Well, anyway, it's fine to not like Thomas Massie. It's sick to spread completely unfounded sex allegations days before an election. That's the Democrat playbook. Now, to be clear, it's not completely unfounded. That's one. And we're going to get there in a second. And two, Thomas Massie sent the country into a psychosis, forcing the DOJ to release anonymous tip lines so he could brandish the White House as the Epstein administration after they backed his challenger for not supporting the one big, beautiful bill. Doesn't have a leg to stand on. Release the Massie files. to understand.
I mean, that's
he
fair.
felt bad. All right, they didn't like him because he wasn't supporting Trump's agenda. And all of a sudden, this guy shows up here pushing this Epstein administration shit. Like, oh my God, it is really bad.
Yeah, so that seems to be the real reason that Massey's really pushing this Epstein stuff is because, look, him and Trump have never gotten along. If anyone that pays attention knows that Massey has been against Trump for a very long time, having nothing to do with the Epstein files. That's the main thing. And look, you're allowed to not like the one beautiful bill, and they're allowed to not like you and try to get you voted out or primaried, preferably, for not liking their one big beautiful bill. And now that you're pushing the Epstein thing as a smokescreen to try to make it look like they're trying to kick you out because of the Epstein backing. I mean, it is pretty brilliant. It is a nice little deflection, I guess. But it's not true.
Really bad. Now, don't get me wrong. All in all, I am happy with the work that he actually did to release as many of the Epstein files as we got. I think we got a lot more because of him, and I'm happy he did that. And I can also simultaneously acknowledge that doesn't make him any less of a backstabbing bitch. He ended up calling out a whole bunch of names in Congress that he had to later take back because he ended up slandering a whole bunch of people. He branded Trump as the Epstein administration after being silent on Biden. So while I'm happy ultimately that we got the files, and a lot of that is actually because of Thomas Massey, I'm not going to sit here and make believe that this dude isn't a fucking fraud traitor. I'm sorry, bro. The damage Massey has done to public discourse is bordering on incalculable, a total loathsome figure. All right, bro. It's getting wild out there. Now, to understand the Thomas Massey files, here's where we're at.
Forms or identify any evidence or
Yeah.
identify witnesses?
Yeah,
Did you comply with all those requirements?
I did.
And in the course of filling out those documents, did you by any chance list Thomas Massey
I
as a
did.
potential witness?
I did, yes.
Uh-oh.
How did he react to that?
Well, out of courtesy, when I started the process, I called him up to let him know. And he was very angry.
No shit.
And he said, "You're just..."
Right, just to understand what's going on here, Cynthia West, allegedly an ex-girlfriend of Thomas Massey, exposes him as a sexual deviant and bribed her with $5,000 in cash to stay silent. Massey DM'd her on X August 2024, not even 2 months after his wife of 31 years passed away in June 2024. Massey ended up getting her on a congressional staffer job in D.C. Massey pressured her into being involved with the deviant sexual behavior with him. Allegedly, Cynthia rejected, feeling extremely pressured and uncomfortable. When she rejected, Thomas Massey had her fired, bribed her, and threatened her not to file a complaint. A complaint was filed in 2025, at the same time period when Massey remarried to a different staffer 20 years younger than Massey. All right, and this is the guy screaming about Epstein, by the way. Now, again, I'm not saying that any of these allegations are true. I'm just saying glass houses, closets, and skeletons.
You're just one person that you can't make a difference, so you need to just walk away. And then he had $5,000 that he said that he would give me if I could just walk away.
Oh, my.
Huh.
I didn't take it, though.
Oh, my. That sounds like hush money, if that's true.
No, he has cash, so it's part of his cow money, right? It's his non-traceable money.
Imagine.
Cow money, you say?
No, wait a minute. You said it's part of his cow money?
Cow money?
Yeah, because he's got cows. He sells cows and gets cash.
Allegedly tax fraud, eh? Wow, this is not
record
good.
No.
Not good at all. Yeah, so it's looking pretty hairy out there for old Massey. Now, to be clear, yeah, I want him to lose. Absolutely. I think he's a traitor, ultimately. However, that said, I do not want to ruin someone's life through, like, slander allegations of hush money and stuff. So, I mean, he did respond to this, actually, but it keeps getting worse. All right, West told Axios that she began dating Massey after he messaged her on X shortly after his wife died. She broke up with him after he grew allegedly emotionally abusive because she refused to engage behavior I wasn't comfortable with, allegedly, all right? These are her allegations, all right? So, the Massey file...
Sorry, I haven't watched this video this far in. This is actually pretty damn interesting.
Have dropped A lot of people are talking about this. It looks really, really bad. Well, I'm not going to lie. More and more evidence keeps dropping out. That we keep getting more and more shit from different people. So Laura Loomer over here,
who I'm not a big fan of,
obtained
but
new evidence
has
regarding Thomas Mann
fairly
taking
base
romantic
moments.
trips to South Africa with 2 different women. His accuser Cynthia West and his honeymoon with his now wife. All right, this was right after his actual wife died. All right, now a lot of people are saying we have to start investigating the death of his wife. This is getting extreme. I don't like the slander campaigns in general. I don't know if this is real. Right? Allegedly, West accused Thomas Massey of pressuring her for sexual.
And again, if this is real, I completely endorse all of the leaking of this from Laura Loomer and all that. If it's not real, however, Laura Loomer should go to jail.
Lax and retaliating when she rejected him. I don't want to get into the details and the specifics. I'm just saying Alex Jones called for Donald Trump's impeachment and he lost his company. Tucker Carlson is getting allegedly checked out by the CIA for leaking information to our adversaries politically. You got Dan Blazarian as a Jew, which might be the worst of all. It's bad. Thomas Massey, while all this is going on, is keep posting stuff about Epstein, right? So here I explain why our government refuses to investigate Epstein's clients and co-conspirators. And he's still dropping this in like a collab with Tucker Carlson. Literally in a collab with Tucker Carlson. The Tucker Carlson network, he's still posting about Epstein and shit because Tucker Carlson is another one of these backstabbers. It is so bad. Now, Thomas Massey responded, "It's sad that a week before this election, people are making false and unsubstantiated allegations about me in an obvious attempt to influence the outcome of the election. All the claims of inappropriate conduct are false and never offered anyone money in exchange for their silence. I report all my farm income, including cash, to the IRS. There's no ethics claims filed against me, nor have there ever been any claims filed against me in my 14 years of office. I've consulted legal counsel. We are considering all options. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm not here to slander an innocent man. I'm just here to say every single person that goes after Trump gets immediately obliterated, it seems like. And the craziest part is almost every single one of them gets obliterated by their own doing. It's not like some shadow op, deep state operative shows up out of nowhere. It's like, it's literally their own shit that destroys them, all right? Here, did you offer Miss West $5,000 to drop a wrongful termination claim against Rep. Sparks' office? A simple yes or no, please. Of course, he doesn't respond. But this is wild. People already responding with this one. I hate reading all that. I'm happy for you, though, or sorry it happened, which is like a meme on the kind of shit Massey would be saying about the Epstein stuff. Now, just to understand why I'm actually taking this relatively seriously, not the allegations per se, but this total humiliation and destruction, is because I think that the slander campaign in regards to the Epstein files was potentially one of the most vile public slander campaigns with virtually zero evidence I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, when Trump said that the Epstein files were a Democrat hoax, he was actually proven completely correct. Because while obviously it's not true that Epstein was innocent, he was a vile fucking monster.
Yes, he
dead
was.
now. And I would love more investigations for all the people that actually had some sort of contact or business dealings with them. I would love to see more of these rich pedophiles going to jail. There is zero evidence that Trump did anything wrong whatsoever, just because his name is mentioned in there as pushed by people in his own fucking unit, all right? They're supposed to have his back. All right, they decided to push the most unbelievable slander shit I've ever seen, and now you live by the false allegations, you die by the false allegations. Again, I'm not supporting false allegations. I'm not even claiming that these are real or false. I don't know. And time will tell, ultimately. I am, however, noticing that the Egyptians tried to drown the Israelite babies in water, and God ended up punishing them by drowning them in water. And if this isn't the most eye-for-an-eye shit I've ever seen in my entire life, I don't know what is. Now, just to understand, new Congress poll in Kentucky, Galrain, which is a virtual nobody, but he got the Trump endorsement.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
And Galrain
hopefully
by a lot right
he
now
doesn't.
in the
He isn't
polls.
awful.
We'll see what happens. It's over in a little bit. We're almost there. And if this happens, it will be absolutely phenomenal. Everyone screams and yells about how Donald Trump lost MAGA. Donald Trump is MAGA. Every single one of these upstart back.
But anyway, that's going to be all for that. And just real quick before we sign out. This crazy person. Look, just because you don't get a tip, like someone doesn't put it in automatically with their card, giggity, doesn't mean they're not going to tip you, and it doesn't mean you have the right to do anything you want to people's food or leave little shitty notes in there. That being said, let's see what this bitch threatened because she didn't get a tip on DoorDash or whatever food service she should be fired from.
Hello.
Ignore. You keep that.
Why?
Because I didn't see a tip on the app and I put a little card in there. So please keep that. I'm sorry.
No, I just had cash. Please take
It's okay. It's okay because It's okay. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Lucky for you, I didn't bother the food, but next time consider tipping your driver. Guys, you do not have the right to anyone's time, money, or attention. Okay. I understand a lot of you work for tips. It's because no one's drunk enough to stick the whole thing in. I'm sorry. But you do not have the right to a tip. You get a tip for good service. If your service sucks, you shouldn't get the tip, which is why I'm all for giving cash tips to delivery drivers who do good work. If you get someone and it says their name is Janice, and you get some big old dude that looks like his name is Jehoshaphat, or hell, even Chad, that's enough for a no tip from me. That's scary. You're expecting someone, and you get someone big and bruisery, or you get someone who has all their little kids like running the food up to your door or something, or someone who takes a long ass time, or you get it and the food's beat up or whatever. For whatever reason, people cannot tip you for all kinds of reasons. You are not entitled to a tip. Should people tip people who work for tips? Yes, if they do good work. If they get the food there in a decent time and it's still warm and delicious and untouched and sealed the way that it should be. And also, if I say do not disturb on my thing, and you disturb, you knock and ring the doorbell 3 times, or any of these things, or if you live in this town and have lived in this town for a while and you don't know to go around the train or how to get around the train, that counts as no tip. But again, treat people who are doing good work very well. Give them a good tip. Okay. There's this dude at a sushi place around here. It's all you can eat sushi, and it's actually pretty good. And most people that work there do a very good job. Except this one white boy. Man, this dude is horrible. Horrible. And I didn't tip him once. And then I got him again the next time. And then he was even worse, probably because I didn't tip him the first time. And I didn't tip him again. And I said, hey, look, I don't like to complain about folk, but this dude's terrible. I don't want to get him in no trouble, but is it possible for me to, want to be in someone else's section the next time I come here? And the lady said, yeah, cool. And I said, good, because I didn't tip this dude. This is now the second time in a row. He's awful. He's terrible. He's the worst ever. And I'm not one to complain. I normally tip people every single time, but this dude, like I said, I didn't get a single refill the whole time I was there. I was there for 45 minutes, and this is an all-you-can-eat place. All right, we maybe got maybe a third round of food. I did try to find the server, the guy that actually brought the food, because this dude only took our order. Okay, he didn't do anything besides that. I tried to find the other dude to give him a $10 tip, and since I had complained about the guy taking the orders, they wouldn't let me give the other dude a tip. They said it was tip share, and I said, that sucks, because he's awesome and you're terrible. And the people who make the food are also amazing. I'm not going to say the name of the place because I don't want anybody going and harassing this young man. People are stupid when they're young. Hopefully he'll grow out of it. But yeah, treat any kind of wait staff as good as they deserve. Always give them the benefit of the doubt. You never know what kind of day they're having. But if you have it on multiple occasions and the same person and they suck every single time, don't tip that motherfucker. And that's what I'm gonna leave y'all on. Y'all have a fantastic day as always. For the Associated Guests, I am Alfie Animus, signing out and wishing y'all just a wonderful day. Get on out there and be somebody. What's that? Yeah, sushi in Israel is like $15 to $20 a roll. Is it at least good? If it's really, really good sushi, I can see that. Like at the fancier restaurants, that's what they are. At some of the smaller places, it's anywhere from like $8 to $12, depending on the roll. But anyway, signing out. Have a good one. Yanuka,